The Tennessee Titans have been arguably the worst team in the NFL this year. And now after trading away DeAndre Hopkins and Ernest Jones in the same day, unless Mason Rudolph really shows out, there's a chance this team doesn't win a game for the rest of the season. And for a team that had a decent bit of hope heading into the year, this is a really horrible offense on paper. So today, our goal is gonna be to save this Titans team and turn it from what is arguably the worst team on paper in the entire NFL to the best by the end of this. And I don't mean to be dramatic when I say this, but I legitimately don't know how many of these players are gonna be here by the end of this rebuild. We might have to completely, fully rebuild this team. So this should be fun. I mean, I like a good challenge, but this is definitely gonna be hard. But all right, I'm excited to get into this, so I'm gonna keep this intro super short. Just a couple important things I wanna say. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to leave a like. It sounds stupid, but it really does help out the channel. I would appreciate it. I'm not gonna do a like goal today, but let me know you enjoy this by leaving a like. Again, helps out the channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. Trying to hit 100K by the end of the year, I'm sure, as y'all know, but if you like rebuilds, that's literally all I do. And I've been doing a lot more realistic ones lately. I've just been enjoying these now that the season's, I was gonna say started, but it's like almost halfway over. And then very last thing, let me know what struggling team I should do next down in the comments. Because every week I've been doing a rebuild of a heavily struggling team in real life. And these have been a lot of fun. I guess I'll just do the thing where I'll just count up the comments and just rebuild the team that has the most comments on this video. I feel like that's the best way to do it. And you know what? I'll give a shout out. Who was the first to suggest the Titans on the last video? Okay, I'll say shout out to Kamosi Birds. Don't know if I'm saying that right, but it looks like they were the first to suggest the Titans on the last one of these I did. But all right, without further ado, let's get into this rebuild. I don't think I've ever really started a rebuild with positional changes. Maybe this is a boring / weird thing to start a rebuild with. And look, I'm not trying to talk like I know better than an NFL front office. I'm not like, or just coaching staff. I'm not that delusional, but I feel like the players they're starting on the offensive line are really weird. Not like the players, but just where they are starting them. So let me move some of these guys around, because this has been one of the worst O-lines in the league, and it's been fairly healthy, and I feel like they have the pieces. Okay, here is the O-line we are gonna go with. I mean, I really liked Peter Skoronski as a prospect at left tackle. He's been at guard, and he's been okay for the Titans. Daniel Brunskill, I feel like, I mean, he's been solid at guard in his career. In Dylan Rayduns, I don't know how to say his name, but he was decent at right tackle for them at the end of last year, so I feel like that's at least better than Nicholas Petit-Frere at right tackle. So this is the line we're gonna go with. J.C. Latham has been solid at tackle. I feel like he could be good at guard too. I mean, he's got the size. As for the defense, we're just gonna leave it as is. I do want to start Jason Brownlee over Chidobe Awuzie. I'm not gonna make like any injury benches, but that's one I will make because I want him to start. He's been good. But all right, I think that's all the roster rearranging we're gonna do. Let's finally get into this. I'll obviously force win, or I guess force lose the games that have already happened, but let's get to the midseason point. Or you know what? I guess we're probably fine getting to the end of the year. I just hope this Titans team doesn't make any more moves in real life that I haven't already made here, but I'm sure they will. But okay, let's get to the end of the year. But all right, in year one, we unsurprisingly finish 3-14. I don't know if I want to spend too much time going over the stats, because, they're not going to be super realistic. But Mason Rudolph wasn't great. I feel like he'll do better than this in real life. I mean, he probably won't have this many yards or touchdowns because he's only playing a little bit of the year, but 24 picks isn't great. Also, Tony Pollard was horrible for some reason. Traylon Burks had 1,000 yards. Maybe I shouldn't show these stats because, yeah, I don't know how realistic this is. Jeffrey Simmons had 9 sacks. That's cool, but that's about it. And we had 6 total interceptions on the year. How many do the Titans have in real life? Just out of curiosity. Okay, they have 1. I was gonna say this might be unrealistic, but no, I think that's fair. I don't even know if they'll hit 6 at this rate. Also, legacy leaderboard. Brian Callahan top 10? What? Why? We went 3-14. What? But let's see. Tavondre Sweat was at number 10 for Defensive Rookie of the Year. That's cool, I guess. But all right, that's really all the recap we need. The big picture is we went 3-14. I was a little worried about this team overperforming in simulation, but it didn't. Also, okay, I was gonna praise simulation for being kind of realistic, but we had a Jets 49ers Super Bowl. I mean, the 49ers have like some devil magic. They'll have like the most injured roster in the world, and then they'll somehow bounce back and make the Super Bowl, or at least come close, but I don't know about the Jets, I'm gonna be honest. But all right, for re-signings, do we really want anyone here? I mean, Jerome Baker, I guess the Titans traded for him. That doesn't really make sense to me, though. Like, why did they want him if they're tanking? And it doesn't really make sense why the Seahawks gave him up, because he's, like, solid, and linebacker depth has been a big issue for them. I don't really know why they swapped. I wish, as a Seahawks fan, I wish they just added Ernest Jones and kept Jerome Baker, but, I mean, it's fine. It's an upgrade. We'll re-sign him, though. I mean, or not. Okay, whatever. It was too long of a deal anyways. 4 years. And Dylan Radins, whatever. I don't know why I still don't know how to pronounce his last name. I should. Again, 4 years, and he isn't interested at all. He doesn't take it. That's fine. He allowed, was he the one who allowed 13 sacks, or who was guilty of that? He allowed 11, so that's not great. Mason Rudolph, I'm probably good. I think he could do all right in real life. We'll see, but I guess we'll re-sign Ryan Stonehouse and Nick Folk, who's 40 years old, but he's been really good, so sure. Super exciting re-signings. A kicker and a punter, and that's it. Everyone else rejected us. But all right, let's see if there's anything we want to do in free agency, but more than likely, we're just gonna build this team through the draft to start out and worry about free agents later, because we need to get this team younger. But all right, I don't think we're gonna do anything in free agency, just because there are good players here, but they're all older, or at least most of them are. At least for positions we would want to sign. Like, we probably need an edge rusher, but Khalil Mack is 34. By the time we're good, he's gonna be either retired or like a 75 overall. Probably retired. Michael Carter's, I don't think he should be here. I'm pretty sure he got extended, so I'm not gonna sign him. There just isn't a lot that really interests me. Hold on, did Tutu Atwell get an extension? No, we could sign him. That might be kind of fun. He's interested. It's not the most exciting signing ever, but I guess it's better than literally nothing. I mean, he's probably not a long-term piece for this team, but I want to at least sign one player. He does sign, so hey, we'll take it. But okay, in the draft, we have the number 1 pick, which I don't necessarily think that's gonna happen. But I mean, the Titans could end up with number 2. I just think the Panthers are gonna end up with number 1, but I mean, who knows? We're still only like 7 games in, so things can change. But what is interesting is I think this is gonna be the last rebuild I do without realistic draft classes. I don't know why I haven't been doing them with realistic draft classes, to be fair. I just didn't know if there were any good ones. And I feel like a lot of real life draft classes that I download throughout the years have just like insane player overalls, and I don't really like them. So I normally just stick with the unrealistic ones until towards when it's almost, draft time in real life. And then I start to kind of make my own and lower the overalls a little bit. But I think in the next realistic rebuild I do, I'm finally going to use real life ones. I also don't like to use them too much in real life too early in the year, because by the time the actual draft comes around, a lot of the players that are projected to go in the first round change based on like the combine and how they do for the rest of the year. So it just kind of ruins the realism in that aspect too, but oh well. So no real classes in this one, but in the next one, I think I'll try to find a good one. I mean, we still could change one of our players here to a real life prospect. I don't know who the first quarterback off the board is going to be in real life. I would assume Shedeur Sanders, but I don't know. That might be who we change this quarterback to though. But I'm getting kind of ahead of myself, because no matter if I change this player to a real life prospect or not, we're going to be taking a quarterback with this first pick, obviously. This team needs some work. Don't get me wrong, there's a legitimate argument for us to take almost any position here, because we need almost any position, which is really depressing, but I guess we'll just take the most important one with our first pick, which sometimes isn't the best strategy in real life if you do have a horrible roster. That's a great way to end up with a Mac Jones or Bryce Young, just such a bad team around them that they can't succeed. But we'll hope that doesn't happen here. We'll take Daryl Richardson with the first pick of the draft. He is ranked number 7, that's a little better than I thought he was gonna be. We'll take that. I mean, that's like almost best case scenario. I guess number 6 is best case scenario because he isn't a top 5 talent. We knew that. I thought he was gonna be like 15 because he did have a few B ratings, but hey, we'll take that. Also, what is this top 5? I mean, Titans, Giants, Rams, sure, but Bears and Seahawks? I mean, again, as a Seahawks fan, the Seahawks, I kind of hate them a little bit sometimes, but they're not that bad. That's crazy. But now in the second round, ooh, I gotta remember to get the right draft picks, because we should have like 3/4. Right now we only have 1, so I gotta remember to do that. But in round 2, oh, it showed the first round prospects for a second. That was kind of weird. But let's see. I focus scouted a receiver. He's pretty good, DeAndre Callaway. I honestly thought he was gonna be mid first, not first to second, so I guess late first. Probably, hopefully. We don't need a receiver as bad anymore. I also focus scouted a center who got taken and a guard. Ooh, Matt Glover, first round talent. And I mean, we did lose the entire right half of our offensive line, so we probably should take him. That's easily our biggest need. I mean, we have some needs, but that's our biggest. All right, let's go with Matt Glover. I don't know if I'm gonna make him a real prospect. We'll see. I would guess he's a later first round talent or like a later mid first, like the 18 to 20 something range, but I don't know. He could be good. He just doesn't look amazing. Ranked 14. Okay, we'll take that. And I mean, he'll be a day 1 starter. But okay, let me get those other, I think it's like a conditional 5th or 4th. I don't know what the terms are for it going up to a 4th from the D-Hop trade, but I'll probably grab a 4th just because we kind of need the advantage. Okay, I decided to go with just a 5th from the Chiefs, but we do have the 4th from the Seahawks. Unsurprisingly, the receiver I wanted isn't here anymore. We do still need a receiver pretty bad though. Let's see, what does Tony Willis look like? Well, he's 6'8". That's normal. He ran a 4.65 though. This dude's probably like a 69 overall or something, which isn't like, that isn't horrible, but I don't think he's worth taking here. He does have a few A ratings, but he also has a few Fs. I just don't think there's a receiver worth taking, unfortunately. Maybe Dewan Pettis, but he also has quite a few F ratings. Does have elite speed, agility, and acceleration though. A lot of players, if they check all 3 of those boxes, are pretty good. I mean, he ran a 4.24. That would have been the record like 8 years ago, something like that. I don't know. We'll see. I want to take someone good with this pick. I don't know. Justin Redmond is interesting. He has elite speed and agility, but he's just a horrible run defender at linebacker. And I mean, we do need a linebacker pretty bad. God, dude, this might be one of those rebuilds where it's multiple years before we're even decent. Like, this is tough. I hate to say it, but I really don't see anyone that looks all that good. Tim Whitaker at corner maybe looks pretty good, but corner's like the last thing we need. Let's just go with the really fast receiver. Probably not that good, but he looks like the best player at a position we even remotely need, or like, well, we need a lot of positions, but at a position where we have a chance of drafting a starter, like a day 1 starter. I don't know if Pettis will be, but maybe a long-term option at least. I don't know. We'll see. Ranked 107, got him at 97. Dev trait? No. Okay. I mean, he isn't terrible, but that's not a great pick. I figured it wouldn't be, but I had hope. My fault, I guess. And then with the 4th round pick from the Seahawks, I mean, I've taken corners that look like this and are terrible. I've taken corners that look like this and are good. I don't know if he's good or not. I mean, he at least doesn't have poor speed or acceleration. Just marginal and solid, which is fine. I mean, it's not great, but that's fine. And I mean, the A press, A man, and C player ec, which is basically an A for corners for some reason. We'll take a chance. What? Oh, it showed 107 for a second. Okay, 62. I'll take that easily. He's also 6'5". If this dude was real, he might be good. He's also kind of slow, and corner is a position where like you really don't want a slow player. But I mean, he has a dev trait, so we'll take it. But all right, I'll take a couple more picks. I think I'm gonna make the QB Shedeur Sanders. We'll see. It'd be weird to have one real prospect and then all the rest being fake, but now I'll do it for fun. Why not? But okay, here's how we did in the draft. Definitely an interesting one. I mean, again, Shedeur Sanders. I think he's going to be 23 by the time he gets drafted, but I didn't want to make him older. That's just a disadvantage, so I just left him at 21. I may or may not have accidentally revealed his dev trait. It looks like the thing I was dealing with in the last rebuild where I would draft someone, and then we would get to the draft and their dev trait would already be revealed. It looks like that isn't happening anymore, so I guess that's good, but also I accidentally revealed it for myself. Should I just show it now. No, I'll build suspense. I feel like I haven't really given away what it is. I don't even think I said if it's good or bad, so you'll see. But yeah, this will be fun. I mean, this is a realistic landing spot. I didn't mess with any of his ratings or anything, but I mean, that's the closest face I could find to him. It doesn't look like him at all, but it was like one of the two possible faces that had kind of long hair, so whatever. And then Matt Glover, 76 overall. I mean, we knew these were two good picks. He'll be our starting right guard. The problem is we just didn't have enough picks to get a right tackle. And unfortunately, I tried to get a pick from the Chiefs, but for some reason they were $46 million deep in negative cap space. They had negative 46 or something, like maybe even 48, I don't know. So I couldn't really trade for their pick. So I guess I'll just steal a fourth next year once we can actually trade with them to steal it. So we had one less pick than we should have had this year, but that's whatever. We'll get it eventually. But the first of our fourth round picks wasn't great. DeJuan Pettis. I probably should have taken someone else, but I mean, to be fair, we were just hoping for a dev trait and he didn't have it, so unlucky. And then Tim Whitaker, 73 overall. He's good. I don't really know why I drafted a corner, but I mean, he has hidden dev and he looks solid. Then I also took a blocking tight end, of course. Probably has X Factor too. He probably has X Factor, and he would be the only one we drafted with X Factor if he did, definitely. And then Jamie McMillan, I don't want to talk about it. He was fast, so I took him, and he's horrible. Hold up, I wanna treat this like a learning experience. Was there a decent linebacker available? I mean, Joe Reed is fine. What does he have? Because every linebacker I take in the later rounds is awful. Not that this guy's great, but I guess he just has good strength and hit power in pursuit. I don't know. Whatever. Who cares? It was the 7th or 6th round. But let's get into year 2. The team is looking better, hopefully, but we'll have to see how we do. There's a world where we end up with the number 1 pick again, and honestly, I kind of hope we do. Ooh, and you know what? I might actually continue the tank here, because I mean, there are still some older players on this roster that are just not long-term pieces at all. I don't think I'm going to trade away anyone major, but there are a couple players I might trade away because I want some of these younger guys to get an opportunity. So let me do that. Okay, we're going to trade away Calvin Ridley for a 4th round pick. Now, I don't even know if the Titans really can trade him away this year for like cap space purposes because they just signed him, but whatever. I guess it's the next year. We'll take the 4th from the Steelers. I wanted to trade him to a mostly realistic team. The Steelers definitely need a number 2 receiver. And we are going to trade Chidobe Awuzie to the Falcons for a 6th round pick. I'm also taking Frank Ginda and Justin Rogers just so they can afford this trade, but not much. But I might have just released him anyways because I made both of those trades because I want rookies to get more playing time. I guess Whitaker still might not get much playing time. I could move someone to safety because I mean, Quandre Diggs is 32. He's been solid for the Titans this year, but he's 32. So we'll see. And then, I mean, DeJuan Pettis is going to start because we traded Calvin Ridley away. This is an interesting receiving core. But okay, here we are heading into year number 2. Of course, moving on from Will Levis. I mean, we still have him on the team, but he'll be the backup. And we're going to have to see how Shedeur Sanders can do. I mean, it's definitely not set up great for his success. Doesn't really have any great weapons or that great of an O-line, but I mean, we could trade for someone, but I just don't know if we're really in a position to do that. We could, though. I'd rather just try to develop younger guys and then add who we need to. Our defense should be solid this year, though. I mean, we are starting a few rookies, Whitaker and Buchanan, but our defense as a whole just isn't that old anymore, which is good, but it also isn't that amazing, so hopefully some of these guys can develop. We got Moro Ojamo in free agency. I think he's kind of underrated. The Eagles just cut him. Same with Nolan Smith, so I picked both of them up. But other than that, this defense is mostly just the Titans, kinda. This offense we've already made pretty different, though. So I don't have a lot of hope for this year, but I mean, you never know. It does look like we are still at least tied for the lowest overall team with the Patriots and Cardinals. I don't think we will be by the end of the year because we're probably the youngest out of those 2 teams, or out of, I guess, the 3 teams by a lot, but we'll see. I'm hoping for the number 1 pick. pick, but we'll just see what happens. Oh yeah, I also am gonna start Walter Clark at tight end. I mean, we'll just hope he has a really good dev trait. It looks like it's probably star because he didn't develop throughout the preseason, but we'll see. But again, for like the millionth time, we'll just have to see how this team does. So let's get to the mid-season point of your number 2, and we will see what happens. Okay, we are 1-5, which, you know, most of the time I would be disappointed by, but I mean, again, also for the millionth time, we're going for the number 1 overall pick. I mean, is there anyone on the team that's doing well? Because we might bench him. I mean, I won't, but ooh, you know something I might do, which I mean could make us play better, so maybe I shouldn't. I could make Tyjae Spears the number 1. I don't know why, but Tony Pollard is just horrible in this game. Anytime I sign him, anytime I end up with the misfortune of having him, he puts up like 3.6 yards per carry. I mean, he was our full-time starter last year and had 595 yards. We really just hardly run the ball at all, and that's maybe what we should be doing. At least on paper with Tony Pollard and Tyjae Spears, but then again, Tony Pollard sucks, so I don't know. All right, I'll leave Tony Pollard in, but I think next year we'll try Tyjae Spears, because again, we're kind of tanking. We don't want to do better. But we have some re-signings this year, and we have some fairly important ones. Roger McCreary, Amani Hooker, Chigo Okonkwo, who we kind of replaced. Traylon Burks, who's definitely been a bust for the Titans, but I mean, I liked him as a prospect. He was good before he got hurt, to be fair. He was good like his rookie year. Moro Jamo's a starter. Arden Key. So yeah, good amount of starters. Roger McCreary, that's really cheap. I'll go 3 years, 21. Amani Hooker, that's not super cheap. I'll go 3 years, 32. Doesn't take it. And I'll re-sign Traylon Burks. I mean, why not? Never mind, he doesn't take it. All right, cool. I guess this isn't as important as I was making it out to be. I mean, they're like good players here, but to be fair, we just don't really have many players on the team that are all that important other than, I guess, Jeffrey Simmons, Tavondre Sweat, and Shedeur Sanders. I guess debatably L'Jarius Sneed, who I don't even think I've mentioned, but he hasn't been great for the Titans in real life, so I don't know. But like, other than that group, there just aren't many possible players that could be up for contract that are that important. I maybe should have waited until the end of the year to reveal the dev traits, but good lord. Okay, so Shedeur Sanders has X Factor. I already knew that. I cheated and gave it to him. No, but I guess I did cheat and look at it on accident. I mean, I was gonna start him anyways, obviously, but that's insane. We'll take that. But also, Walter Clark does have Superstar. I didn't think he did after he didn't develop throughout the preseason. And then also, Whitaker, I guess at corner, but starting at free safety for us, has Superstar too, so pretty good dev traits. Were we 3 for 3 on Superstar plus dev traits for guys that had hidden? I think we were. I don't think we got any stars. I think we only got Superstar X Factor. We'll take it. But all right, let's get to the end of year 2. I don't know how long of a rebuild I'm gonna do, but I want to make this team good, obviously, so probably 5 or 6 years. We'll see. But let's get to the end of the year and we will see how this team does. But okay, yeah, that's about right. We go 4-13. I don't know if that's good enough for the number 1 pick though. I would guess not, but hopefully top 3. Okay, never mind. We do have the first pick. Okay, despite how bad we've been, this has been a really, really good start to this rebuild. At least just like adding good young players. But for season stats, I'm glad Shedeur Sanders already has X Factor because he wasn't that great. I mean, pretty good amount of yards, good amount of touchdowns, just 16 interceptions. That isn't great. Also got sacked 40 times, so some things never change from college at least. I don't know. And yeah, Tony Pollard sucked again. We'll try Tyjae Spears next year. I don't know if he's gonna do great either, but we'll see. And then DeJuan Pettis led the team with 860 yards as a rookie. Definitely not good enough for rookie of the year, but should be like top 10. Burks and Atwell also at 800. Walter Clark got 760. He did good. But Peter Skoronski at left tackle, he allowed 13 sacks last year too, right? Yeah, so, I mean, I want him to work out because I like him. I mean, he's still only, did I say 24? I mean, he'll be 25 in a minute, but I don't know. I want him to work out. I guess we could just move him back to guard and see how JC Latham does at left tackle, but I feel like I've seen a good amount of sacks allowed from JC Latham in Madden too. We'll try it. We're slowly just gonna undo all the offensive line moves I made at the start of this. Well, I guess we kind of already did. Those are the only 2 linemen that we moved at the start of this that we have left. And then Jack Gibbons, 115 tackles, TFLs 14 for Landry, 11 for Simmons, 10 for Key and Sweat, and then sacks, not great. 7.5 for Simmons led the team, only 5.5 for Landry, Key, and Sweat, 4.5 for Ojamo. I did check, and Harold Landry's pretty expensive. I mean, he's good in real life. He puts up good, like really good numbers. With how he's playing, I don't think he's worth the money that we're paying him, so we might get rid of him, we'll see. And then Hooker and Snead had 3 picks, and then 1 for Gibbons and Brownlee. But let's see, Mahomes wins MVP, Michael Penix at number 2. Okay, but Offensive Rookie of the Year somehow does still go to Shadur Sanders. Kind of weird to have him with a bunch of not real players, but I did kind of start working on my own, like, custom draft classes. Not really working on, because every year I just steal one and kind of, like, make my own little tweaks to it, or, like, update it if it needs updating, because most of them do. So again, I think expect that in the next realistic rebuild I do. But anyways, for the rest of the list, Pettis at number 4, Clark at 5, and then Buchanan at number 6 for Defensive Rookie of the Year. I honestly didn't even see what he did, but sure. Oh, he had tackles and TFLs, I guess. Okay, cool, sure. But all right, this should be a really fun offseason. We should be able to fill out the rest of this team, at least with decent players. Also, I realized I said earlier we went 3 for 3 on hidden devs being Superstar Plus. I forgot we had Glover, but whatever. But all right, let's get into the offseason. We still have some big issues to fix, don't get me wrong, but we should be able to fix quite a few of them. And I definitely think we're going to trade down from number 1 this year, unless there's someone that looks insane. I thought we had escaped the Chiefs-Cowboys Super Bowls. Why? I thought Madden 25 wasn't as biased towards the Cowboys or the Chiefs as it was in Madden 24, but they can still meet up in a Super Bowl apparently. But all right, for the rest of our re-signings, Peter Skoronski has a 5th-year option. It's only 11 mil, that's fine. I mean, he's been horrible, but we'll see how he does at guard. Amani Hooker, I definitely want back. I mean, he led the team in picks, or at least tied for it. I mean, he's just a good safety, but like, he doesn't want to come back, so I'll offer him very player-friendly 3 years again. Oh, he does take it this time. Okay, cool. And then Traylon Burks, I'll offer, I don't even remember what I offered before. I'll just go neutral. He takes it. Moro Ojamo is pretty good, but he's not interested. So we'll just let everyone else here go. Oh yeah, Arden Key needed a deal too, but like, he's had 8 sacks in the last 2 years total, so I'm good. But all right, I might even make one more trade here. We're gonna send Harold Landry to the Patriots, which I guess would be a solid scheme fit. I mean, this could be realistic, I guess. I don't know if he's gonna get traded. I'm still hoping that the Titans won't trade anyone else away before this video goes up, but we get a 4th-round pick for him. He's just been bad, straight up. I mean, he hasn't been horrible, but not worth what we were paying him. I mean, we could also even trade Tony Pollard away. I don't know if we want to get that crazy, but he's been horrible. But in free agency, Brock Purdy's here? I don't know that I've ever seen that. He's up to a 93 with X Factor. That's crazy. Puts up insane numbers. Man, one of the major things we need is like a really good receiver, but there just isn't one available. There are a lot of good receivers, but nobody crazy good. But okay, we're gonna go for 2 players in free agency. I don't even know for sure if I want to go for both of these guys, because we don't really need Travis Jones technically. He wouldn't even get that much playing time. I think it's better to just draft a 3rd guy on the D-line. Sometimes I like to do things that are more like fun than makes sense, but I feel like when the team is this bad, we need to do things that make more sense, and it doesn't really make sense to pay a guy that really won't play that much. So I think we're only gonna go for Khalil Mack. Just like, this isn't that good of a free agent class, at least for the positions that we need, of course. And I mean, we should have a ton of draft picks if we do trade down from number 1, so I think it'll be fine. But Khalil Mack, do you want to sign? He does. I'm surprised he did. All right, cool. It looked like Brock Purdy went to the Raiders too. That's something. But okay, this is an interesting trade. We're gonna trade down with the Patriots again, and we are gonna pick up their 1st next year, their 1st in 2 years, a 2nd this year and next year, and a 3rd this year to move down from 1 all the way to 16. I don't even know if that's enough value for us, but I mean, it's a lot of picks, so sure. They go with a defensive end that looked pretty good. I can't remember. There was one that looked bad. There were like 4 top 5 projected defensive ends. I don't remember which one was which, but it was interesting. But with this pick, we could honestly probably trade down again if we wanted to. I feel like we have enough picks though. So I think I'm just gonna take Elijah Langford. Looks good. I wouldn't necessarily guess that he's a mid-first round talent though. I guess he does have a few elite traits, but you know, the C player ec isn't great. But I mean, A awareness, A tackle, A finesse moves. He looks good. Probably ranked like 20 something or around 20. I mean, that's what I predicted for the lineman. He was a little better than that, but we'll see. Okay, never mind. He's the 6th best player in the class. Okay. I don't really understand how, but I mean, some of those A's must just be really good. I have no idea, but that's huge. And he is a dev trait, which is the most important part. But after that pick, I don't necessarily know what I want to do. Early round 2. Okay, I focus scouted some receivers. They're good. Miles Goodwell, Trevonte Haynes looks good, but like they're both just 1st to 2nd round talents. I don't know. I mean, to be fair, I don't really know who else I would go with here. Let's see. I might go with Trevonte Haynes because he's a little faster. He only has good speed and great acceleration. He ran a 4.38, but Goodwell has solid speed and great acceleration, so barely worse, but he ran a 4.51 at the combine, so they're probably similar in overall. The only thing I don't love is Haynes has F deep route. I wish he didn't, but we'll take him. He's probably not a great pick here. Never mind. Both of these players have surprised me. No dev trait, but he's good. That was the big thing I wanted though, is hidden dev. Because like, I mean, he'll start for us, but he's gonna need a lot of production to win offensive rookie of the year so he can actually develop. I don't know, that's fine. It's still a fine pick. But all right, mid-round 2. You know, we could just take the other receiver here if we want to. The other thing I would do is take a lineman, but the good linemen that we have scouted aren't projected to go for a little bit. I mean, they're close, but oh, the other receiver's gone anyways. Okay, never mind. I guess we'll go with Howie Lang. He looks good-ish. Ranked 23, got him at 48. I mean, we're 3 for 3 on 1st round talents. We'll take that. Ooh, there is a good off-ball linebacker, Jaden Woods. We do kind of need one. I mean, that was kind of an afterthought because we have decent linebackers, and linebacker isn't like the most important position ever. I mean, it depends, but like that was kind of the least of my worries. But I mean, if there's someone here that's good, why not? Let's go with Jaden Woods. Oh, ranked 48, got him at 65. I mean, that's still a good pick, and he has hidden dev, but 48 is like the very, very end of 1st to 2nd round talents. That's fine. And then I think this will be the last pick I show. Let's go with Davion Duckworth. Crazy name. We need O-line depth pretty bad, so we'll take him. He might play tackle for us. Ranked 46, he's fine, because yeah, he's 6'5", 301. That definitely seems more like a tackle. So definitely a good draft, but we'll see how we did. But okay, here's how we did in the draft. I was gonna say, we ended up getting a lot of players that were ranked in the 40s with the picks I showed, and then even the ones I didn't show. We got a lot of 74 overalls for some reason. But Elijah Langford, I guess the most important player we got here. 77 overall. We'll definitely take it. I don't know if our pass rush is gonna be better or worse, but at the very least, it's cheaper and I guess has more upside, because I mean, we have one guy who's a rookie and one guy who's close to being in a nursing home in Cleo Mack, so we'll see. At least Langford has upside. But Haynes is actually decent. He's a 75 overall. I mean, we knew that. We knew it was a good pick. I guess we didn't know his overall, but I guess he'll start. Hold on, I gotta check one thing in a second. I don't remember something. But Howie Lang is good. I think he's going to start for us at right tackle. I mean, Duckworth could too. He's only one overall lower, which is kind of crazy because Lang was ranked, what, 23? And Duckworth was 48, and that's only a 1 overall difference. But yeah, Jaden Woods is good. And then I found another 1st to 2nd round talent linebacker, Bobby Tyson. He doesn't have a dev trait, but he's good. Robert Haynes, he had hidden dev. He's really similar to the guy we put at safety. And then Marquise Hughes is 23. How old's Haynes? 22. Did Haynes have a dev trait? I don't remember. Or Hughes. No, he didn't. Okay, so he's not going to start. God, that's confusing. Haynes and Hughes. And we drafted a Hayes. I mean, he's at corner, but still. And then Stephen Newell, I had to take the classic blocking tight end. He probably is superstar. I do want to see, though, I almost forgot. Who were the best players in the class? Okay, they were okay. Ooh, there were some really good safeties. I don't even use strong safety. Yeah, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I don't use the strong safety classes anymore. I just use normal, but there was still an 82 overall and an 81. I was thinking about taking Dion Griffin. Or no, I wasn't. There was another safety available too, though, that slipped really far. But both of these guys are good. Who was the safety that slipped super far? Because there was a first to second round talent guy. I think it was Khalid Thomas. Maybe. I don't know. I'm probably just making that up, but there was one. Surprisingly, none of these defensive ends were that great, though. I mean, Langford was tied for the best for overall, despite like 4 top 5 talents being available, or top 5 projected picks. So hey, we did really well. We'll take that. But let's get into year 3. And we actually have some hope to do well this year. Probably. But all right, here's a look at the team heading into year 3. It feels like this has been longer than 3 years. I don't know why, but I think it's year 3. We're getting better. We're improving. Are we even a better overall than we were at the start of last year, though? I think we are. I think we were only a 79, so yeah, I think we are. Now up to an 83, which is okay. And I mean, again, we should develop a ton throughout the year. This is a really, really young team. Oh yeah, and I'm gonna do something interesting. I'm gonna start Haynes as the #1 receiver and the slot receiver. We're just gonna try to get him a ton of production to like force him to win Offensive Rookie of the Year, pretty much. I don't know if he will, but we're gonna try our best to get it for him. We're also gonna start Tyjae Spears this year just to, you know, see if he hopefully does better than Tony Pollard did. And then the defense, we have a new edge duo, Khalil Mack and Langford. Other than that, this defense is mostly the same. I mean, there really is a world where we're pretty good this year. There's a world where we're pretty terrible. I don't know. I feel like it mostly depends on our pass rush, though. So we'll see how it does. Should be good. I mean, based on overall, it's not the best, but Khalil Mack usually does pretty well in this game, and then we'll see how Langford does. We also could think about changing the playbooks pretty soon if we do struggle this year on either side of the ball, so we'll see. But all right, let's get to the mid-season point of year 3. I don't think we're going to be doing that well, but we'll see. Okay, we're 3-3 at the mid-season. I thought we were going to be 2-5. I guess it's not really possible because we've only played 6 games, but whatever. Not bad. Not bad at all. Not great, but we don't really deserve to be great yet. Ooh. Okay, hopefully Shedeur Sanders can do a little better. He has more picks and touchdown passes. That's not great. Also, Tyjae Spears not doing that well. Duckworth at right tackle is pretty horrible. I might try Lang just to see how he does, because I kind of want to do well this year. We don't necessarily need to do super well, because this is still a developmental team, but there are definitely some guys that are really struggling. Langford has half a sack through almost 400 snaps. That's not great. Khalil Mack only has 2 sacks. Is it a playbook issue? I mean, a lot of the time, we wanted to do well, or no, we wanted to do really poorly to get the #1 overall pick, but a lot of the time, even when you have a really bad roster, you'll overperform if you have decent playbooks. But I mean, having the #1 pick back-to-back is kind of concerning. I don't really know how the Titans playbooks are in Madden. I've seen the Titans do well, I've seen them do terribly, so I don't know. We'll see. We might have to switch them. We have a linebacker breakout, though. I don't know which one this is gonna be. Probably Gibbons, but I guess it could be someone else. Not Gibbons. 3+ TFLs for Jaden Woods. I don't know about that one, but sure. Does he even have 3 TFLs on the year? He has 1. What a stupid goal. I love this game, if you couldn't tell. But all right, who do we have to re-sign? Also, wait, let me just point out that the Giants are 5-2 with an 82 overall team, somehow worse than us. But all right, looks like we're going to be having a new running back next year, because we're obviously not going to bring either of these 2 back. They've been horrible. I mean, in real life, they've been good, but Madden isn't exactly real life. Well, we really don't have many re-signings. Khalil Mack, and then that's like about it. So we'll just wait until the end of the year for that, but I'll bench some players. Should we switch the playbooks already? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how we do at the end of the year, but let's get to the end of the year, and I mean, there's a chance we end up being a playoff team, but I kind of doubt it with how these stats look. We'll see. Okay, we finished 7-10 in year number 3. We're still early on here, or like relatively early on, I guess about halfway, but man, this offense still sucks. Like, it wasn't even really our defense. I thought it would be. I guess we had a horrible run D, but what went wrong on offense? What? He just put up the exact same stat line as last year. I mean, I think the yards were slightly different. Yeah, 19 less yards this year, but the same amount of touchdown passes, the same amount of picks, I guess sacked a little less, same completion percentage. That's interesting. Oh, God. Okay, looks like it was was probably a mistake to start Tyjae Spears. 3.1 yards per carry, but it definitely wasn't a mistake to make Haynes the #1 receiver. 1,369 yards, nice, and 11 touchdowns as a rookie. That's huge. But let's see, for blocking, it was definitely a good decision to put Latham back out at left tackle and Skronsky at left guard. At least for this year it was. And then Lang definitely did better at right tackle than Duckworth, so the O-line was solid, but Gibbons led the team with 124 tackles, TFL's 16 for Sweat, 13 for Mack, and somehow we made our sack production worse. 4.5 for Langford and 4 for Mack, 6 for Simmons led the team. It's getting worse every year. But interceptions, 4 for Snead, 3 for Hooker, and then 1 for a few players. Did we have like the least sacks in the league? Probably not, but probably close. Yeah, we had the 4th least with 21. The Falcons had 15. Same with the Texans? I don't know, whatever. But MVP goes to Patrick Mahomes. We have Theo Webster for the Saints up here. That's something. But Offensive Rookie of the Year thankfully goes to Trevonte Haynes, obviously. I was worried if there was going to be a QB or something, but were those QBs rookies that we saw? Yeah, Webster and Stern, they were both up there for MVP. Both thankfully in the NFC, or else we wouldn't have won Offensive Rookie of the Year. But Defensive Rookie of the Year, we get cucked. We get #2. Jaden Woods at 2, Elijah Langford at 3. We'll have to see what our dev traits are. I haven't seen them yet. Hopefully they're good. How are we feeling about changing the playbooks? I mean, were we just not great because we don't have the best team, or I don't know. The reasons that we were bad on offense seems like a player issue. The ways that we were bad on defense seems like a scheme issue. Because a lot of the time, if you have a bad playbook in Madden, it doesn't get many sacks, even if you have decent players, and that's what happened. On offense, it just seems like we had a terrible performing running back, which is, it shouldn't have been the case, because, you know, we have 2 good running backs, but they just aren't doing well, which is more of a player performance issue. Like, our offense was worse, but I think I'm going to change our defensive playbook. I don't know what I'm going to change it to. Let's try the Steelers defense, I guess. We'll see how that goes, but for dev traits, Lang only has star. We'll see what Duckworth has, but probably only star because he barely developed. We got kind of unlucky this year. Langford only has star, Woods only has star, and then Hayes at least has superstar, but like he's kind of a backup. I guess we could start him at some point, but the big one I wanted to have superstar was Langford, but only star. At least Haynes should get at least star dev, hopefully superstar. God, this was a confusing class though. Again, we got Hayes at corner, Haynes at receiver, we got Langford at edge, and then Lang at right tackle, or I guess guard / tackle / wherever. I'm probably gonna mix up their names like at least 5 more times each. But all right, we'll see how this new defensive playbook does. I can't remember. I thought I found a good 3-4 defensive playbook recently, but I can't remember what team it was for some reason. But we have a Chiefs-Eagles Super Bowl. We're really just reliving Madden 24. That's tough. I don't want to relive that game. That might be the worst Madden ever. I mean, I don't know. That argument can be made for a lot of recent ones, but the amount of bugs and just how garbage and repetitive the simulation was, and that was an interesting game. I don't know that this one's much better, but there are at least a few things that are better. But for re-signings, we'll pick up the 5th year for Latham. I mean, we have a ton of cap space. It's just we haven't found any free agents that really make sense to sign. We'll let Khalil Mack go. He was terrible. But all right, I want to have a big free agent class this year. It just depends on if there's actually anyone available. And let's see, is there anyone we could get rid of? Anyone that doesn't really make sense to keep? Probably not. I mean, I guess we could cut Lloyd Cushenberry if we really wanted to for some reason, but we really don't need the cap yet. But okay, in free agency, another horrible class. This is like horrible. Whoa. The best player is, I guess, an 84 overall punter, 2 of them. That's tough. Is there a running back that does well in this game available? Nick Chubb usually does, but like he's regressing a lot. We might unfortunately be in a situation where we have to trade for a running back, which I don't love, but like what other choice do we have? None of these guys do well. I might reluctantly offer Nick Chubb a 1-year deal, but like these free agent classes have been miserable. I imagine George Karlaftis does nothing in this game. It looks like he hasn't even been playing for the Chiefs. What? Why has he been a backup? Who has he been a backup to? I don't know, whatever, sure. I mean, we could bring Harold Landry back. He did nothing for the Patriots. He was a backup. I'm so, like, desperate to sign someone here, but there's nobody that would make sense at all. We might just have to stick with nobody once again, as stupid as that is. Like, I don't really have much of a choice. We either sign an underperforming player or we sign nobody. I guess we'll try to sign an underperforming player. Not necessarily underperforming, because he's 31 at this point, but I guess we'll try to sign Nick Chubb. Maybe he'll do something. Probably not. He doesn't accept it. Okay, he finally does. I don't feel great about that, but again, what other choice do I really have? But okay, on a more positive note, it looks like Haynes did go up to Superstar Dev, so we, I guess one way or another, found our #1 receiver. He didn't really, did he get any upgrade points for Offensive Rookie of the Year? I guess he maybe got 2. He got 6,800 XP. Okay, that's solid, I guess. With the year he had, I feel like he deserved more, but whatever. I think that's the only dev trait we gained, though. Unlucky. But all right, let's get to the draft, and we might trade for a player this year. No guarantees, but we might. I don't know what position. We could trade for, like, almost any position, and it would kind of make sense, but I want to trade for somebody, I think. But okay, we finally don't have the first pick in the draft anymore. We have some good ones. We have pick 7 and pick 10, which I guess was our record this year, 7 and 10. I'm just trying to think what the best position group to target would be. We still have a lot of needs, more than we probably should at this point, but this is about what I expected, to be fair. We're not going to trade up or anything, I don't think. We just didn't really have a lot of these early players scouted, but I'm sure there's a good one here. Hillhouse is probably really good. Well, I don't know. A lot of the time, early first-round defensive tackles are, like, insane in Madden, but he doesn't look that good. But this year, I scouted some running backs. Okay, it worked out. We're going to have to take Overstreet at some point. Top 5 talent. Okay, we found our running back, assuming he's still available in the early second round, whenever we pick. There's a top 5 projected linebacker, off-ball linebacker. That's kind of crazy. He looks good. He must have had a crazy combine. Not really. He had a good combine. That's interesting. But all right, anyways, we're not going to trade up. We'll get to pick 7. I don't even know what I want to do at pick 7, though. I mean, we could just trade this down if we really want to. There are some good pass rushers, though. There is Daryl Weaver and Justin Brothers. Both are speed rushers. Weaver's 22. Brothers is 21. Who looks better? I think Weaver. Not the best combine, though. I mean, only a 4.7 as a speed rusher. That's Brothers, he has elite speed and acceleration. I don't know if, I mean, 4.63 is good. We could just take both because we're so desperate for an edge rusher. This is going to be a weird strategy, one that I wouldn't probably recommend in real life, but I do think I'm going to take both. We don't really need to trade down. We have enough picks. So Daryl Weaver, sure. Probably a reach. Not too bad of a reach, though. Ranked 11. Normal dev. All right. There's always a position group that kind of haunts us in rebuilds that we just, no matter what we try, we can't fix it. Feels like edge is one of those positions in this rebuild. Justin Brothers, please have better than normal dev. Rank 20, he's whatever. He has hidden. It's probably just star, but it's better than nothing. I'm really thankful that slow dev doesn't exist anymore. I mean, it kind of does. It's kind of what normal is currently, but that was probably my least favorite thing to ever get in Madden. That was like, it's been like 6 years since that existed, but shout out if you remember slow dev in Madden. That was the worst thing ever. Oh, this guy really doesn't look that good. He ran a 4.62, and that's somehow decent speed with elite. This game sucks, dude. How is a 4.62? How does that average out at, like, good if you average out the speed and acceleration? That's crazy. One of my least favorite things in this game is how, like, inaccurate the ratings are compared to their actual combine and pro day numbers. I hate it, dude. But I mean, he's a top 5 talent, so we're gonna take him. We're gonna start him, I think. Ranked number 2 in the class. Does have hidden dev, thankfully. 94 acceleration, only 87 speed, though, obviously. And then our second round pick. I don't really know what I want to do anymore. There is a good guard. I mean, I think we have enough linemen, but I mean, we might as well take him, to be fair. Larry Rose, sure, why not? Ranked number 12, got him at 42. Sounds good to me. He has 95 strength. That was was gonna say his ratings aren't that insane, but the strength definitely carries. And now, I mean, what else do we need to do? I guess we can take a D lineman. I feel like we've been kind of neglecting the depth on the D line. Ooh, not a 3-4 D lineman, but Sheldon Mills. He actually looks pretty decent. A tackle, A power moves. I might also take him. We have enough pass rushers though. He's probably good, but like, I don't think he would ever see the field. Let's go with Joe Casey, I guess. He looks pretty good. A new Jay Casey in Tennessee, sure. He's fine. I thought he was gonna be a first-round talent, honestly. He looked pretty good, but I mean, he's decent. Ranked 54, got him at 74, has hidden dev, we'll take it. And then probably the last pick I'm gonna show, there is still a first to second round talent linebacker. We have enough linebackers. I need to set a new focus position next year. I mean, it worked out this year, but we'll definitely set a new one next year. What else do we really need? I guess maybe another D lineman just because we need more depth. There isn't really one that looks great though. All right, let's look for a blocking tight end. Why not? Mason Foster, sure. Oh, he's not that good. Ranked 125. I mean, he has hidden dev, that's cool, but all right, I'm done picking. Let's see how good the players are that we got. But okay, here's how we did in the draft. I mean, we did really well. Weaver's a 76, Brothers is a 75, Ralph Overstreet is an 80 overall. Again, we're gonna start him. We'll see how he does. We didn't end up trading for anyone, but honestly, with the players we got, I don't really think we needed to. Then Larry Rose, 76. Ooh, the CPU picked a pretty good running back, Jordan Booth. I mean, overall, really good draft. It's always good when you get the second best player in the class, even if he is a running back. Ooh, there was a 70 overall QB taken at number 3. Ooh, there was an 83 overall guard. He has a 98 strength and 99 impact blocking. I don't even use strong interior line classes either anymore, so this is just a natural, really good guard, I guess. Oh, and Hillhouse was good. He didn't look that great to me, but 78 overall. Oh, that's kind of rare. There was a really good 3-4 defensive end available in the second round, late second. I don't really ever see that. That's interesting. Normally they all suck past the first round, but overall, really good class. I mean, we got the second best player. We got whatever these guys were ranked. I don't remember, 12 and 11 and something. So we'll obviously take that, but let's get into year 4, coming down to, I guess, the end here. And I mean, we really need to have a good season, finally. We still haven't had really even close to a winning record, which is kind of depressing. But okay, here's a look at the team heading into year 4. We're looking good. This is like the first time that we've had hope at every position. Like at every spot on the team, we have at least one player that could be or should be good, at least on offense. On defense, I'm still worried about our pass rush. Maybe the new defensive playbook will help. Maybe it won't. I don't know. We'll see. I also thought about trading for a pass rusher this year, but I think we'll save that for year 5, which is probably going to be the final year. I mean, we might do 6. We'll see. It depends on how we do. But I mean, either way, this team is looking good. And I do want to check, at an 84 overall, are we at least mid? Yeah, I would say 84 is about mid. We'll take that. We're definitely not close to the best. The Chiefs are an 88, but I mean, with one good free agent class, which we still haven't had yet, we could reach those levels. We just need some good players to be available to us. But all right, let's get into the year. We'll have to see how we do. I don't know if we're going to be great. We'll have to see if this new defensive playbook is actually good. It looks like it was bad throughout the preseason, but I mean, it was the preseason. But all right, we'll see how the team does. Hopefully we can do well, but we'll see. Okay, finally, we have a winning record. We are 4-3 at the midseason. I mean, we still need to finish with a winning record, but at least we have one at some point in this rebuild. Took a while, but we got here. Maybe the defensive playbook change was a bad move. Our offense is definitely better. I'm glad I didn't switch that one, but our defense still sucks. I don't know why. Ooh, Overstreet really isn't that good at running back either. I thought that was our big issue, but I don't really know why we're better on offense. I mean, I won't complain, but I don't get it. Looks like we're gonna have to bench Lang, probably. Oh, and it looks like we're actually getting pressure, though. A lot of it. 8 sacks for Simmons, 6 for Langford, 5.5 for Brothers, but only 2 picks on the year. Okay, it's either one or the other. You get a lot of sacks and no picks, or you get a lot of picks and no sacks. That's tough. But yeah, I'll bench Lang for, I guess, Duckworth, who we benched for Lang last year, because you always have to play this game in Madden. We could even try Rose if we wanted to. You know what? Sure, why not? And then we'll bench Rose for Lang next year, probably. But we have some re-signings. We have 204 mil in cap space, and I'm glad we do, because it looks like none of the players we have to re-sign are interested at all. Tavondre Sweat, 0 interest, so we'll offer him very player-friendly, which is very player-friendly. 5 years, 156 mil, and he takes it, thankfully. Jeffrey Simmons, 5 years, 157 mil. Okay, sure. Peter Skoronski's been really good at guard here. Again, in real life, I feel like he would be a better tackle, but he was horrible at tackle here. He does resign, though. Traylon Burks, we could probably find an upgrade. Jarvis Brownlee, he's been good, but he hasn't really developed, and he's not interested. L'Jarius Sneed, we could probably replace. I don't know. We just need a good free agent class for like the millionth time, but there just hasn't been one. Although he has gotten a lot of picks, I'm surprised he hasn't gotten superstar dev. I mean, 4 picks last year, 3 the year before. Maybe we should resign him. We'll see at the end of the year. There are a lot of like pretty good starters here, but I don't know if they're guys that are worth re-signing. I'm not ruling it out, but I won't re-sign any of those guys yet. We'll see, you know, how they do by the end of the year. Ooh, Overstreet has superstar dev. That's cool. I was hoping he could have X Factor, but superstar is cool too. But all right, let's get to the end of year 4 and we will see how this team does. Okay, well, actually, before I reveal how we did in year number 4, if you haven't already, be sure to leave a like on the video. Be sure to subscribe. Again, like I said at the beginning of this, sounds stupid, but it really does help out the channel, and it'll let me know y'all want to see more realistic rebuilds. And also let me know what team I should do next for a realistic rebuild, or just any fun, goofy ideas you can come up with. I mean, look at the stuff I do on the channel. Just let me know if you have any ideas similar to that. And actually, I've been forgetting to do this, but question of the day. I feel like I've asked this before, but I feel like it's been a while since I've asked it. It's kind of a fun question, but let me know down in the comments, who are your favorite NFL players ever? I mean, can be current, can be ever, whatever. I'm always interested to see, you know, some of the interesting players that people like. I mean, my favorite ever is probably Russell Wilson. I mean, I literally have a poster of him right in front of me. Tri-City Dust Devil legend Russell Wilson. I also like Tyler Lockett. I really liked Thomas Rawls when he played. Gardner Minshew. I'm really biased with my favorite players, just my favorite teams pretty much. But yeah, let me know who your favorite players are down in the comments. I'll try to read a lot of them. But also one more thing. This is more of a just for fun thing, but be sure to subscribe to my second channel, link in the description. I'm thinking about doing a Weddle video. I saw someone play Wordle in a video, and it just made me think of Weddle, which, if you don't know, it gives you hints towards a player, and you're supposed to guess who that player is. It was a big thing like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, at some point, I don't know. But I don't think I've ever done a Weddle video, and I think I might do that on the second channel. It won't be Madden related. I've seen people do like Weddle picks my team in Madden, but I think I would just do a Weddle video. I tested it out, and I went 21 for 21 on hard mode or whatever, where it's like defensive players too. So yeah, subscribe to the second channel. I think I'm gonna do that as early as tomorrow whenever this video comes out. So yeah, should be fun. But okay, long plug over. As for dev traits this year, of course we had the superstar for Overstreet. Rose actually has superstar too, which I was hoping for. I mean, we're probably gonna have to bench him again next year, but we'll see. Everything else I just think was star. I mean, I guess we don't know what Casey's is. Brothers only has star though, unfortunately. And speaking of unfortunately, in year number 4, we finished 6-11. That's tough. So this might be a 6-year rebuild. I'm not going to spend too long on the stats here because they're not going to be that good. Overstreet was kind of terrible. Haynes was really good though. That's at least one positive. The O-line held up well. Larry Rose wasn't great at right tackle though. And then we at least had more pressure this year, a lot more. 14.5 sacks from Jeffrey Simmons, 9.5 for Brothers and Langford, 5.5 for Sweat, but we only had 5 picks on the year. I mean, overall, our defense was bad. Like, and I don't really know what to do about it, but it looks like Roy Stern wins MVP. That's fun to have a not real life player win it for what feels like the first time ever. But Haynes at number 4 for Offensive Player of the Year. That's cool. Overstreet still wins Offensive Rookie of the Year despite being not that great. And then Brothers wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. So we sweep the Rookie of the Year awards. But all right, let's get into what is hopefully the final offseason. I mean, hopefully we can be good next year, but we'll see. But we had a Dolphins-Bears Super Bowl. That's interesting. I guess that could happen at some point in the future, but that's an unfamiliar one in Madden. Also, I see Travis Kelce was on the Rams and finally retired. Interesting. But all right, who are we going to have to re-sign? Or, well, I think I know who we have to re-sign, but who do we actually want to re-sign? We have the 5th year for Shedeur Sanders. That's fine. fine. It's not even that expensive. I mean, not as expensive as I thought it would be. Treylon Burks, I'm probably good. Jarvis Brownlee, L'Jarius Sneed, he's been good, but he has been pretty good. And he's really not that expensive. Hopefully he won't be our number 1, but I would be fine doing 3 years, 27. That really isn't too bad. I mean, we have 127 mil in cap. Tutu Atwell, I'm fine letting go. Moro Jamo. Like, these are all just either lower level starters or backups. So we'll let everyone else go. We'll head into free agency with a lot of money. We could even have more money if we restructure. We haven't restructured any deals because we haven't needed to. But okay, there are finally some good players. Some interesting good players, though. Some guys that haven't really been great in real life. Terrion Arnold hasn't been great for the Lions. Anthony Richardson hasn't been great. Kingsley Suamataia hasn't been great either. I don't know that these would be the most realistic signings ever, because they haven't been the best in real life, but we got to do something. Also, has there been a free agent receiver higher than an 82 overall? Tutu Atwell is the best here. That's fun. But we don't really need to sign a lineman. Our line has been good. I think Montez Sweat is kind of terrible in this game. Ooh, maybe not. He had 12 sacks. We really don't need pass rushers anymore, though. What do we need? Is it just our secondary that's been holding us back? Maybe. Let's just try to completely revamp it. I don't know if this is the most realistic thing ever, but who really cares at this point? We need a winning record pretty desperately. Also, Jahmyr Gibbs is here. Yet another player that just isn't that good in Madden. Fun. But okay, we're gonna go for Terrion Arnold, Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, and then Treylon Burks, kind of reluctantly. Again, I wish there was a better receiver. I mean, we have 70 mil. I want to spend this on someone. I just don't know who to spend it on. Like, we just really don't need any of these players here. I would spend it on a receiver, but again, for the millionth time, there just isn't a receiver. I guess Junior Colson, he has superstar dev. It looked like teams were interested. Can we get him? Maybe. I mean, we might as well go like very player friendly or something. So, all right, we're really trying to fix our defense. We still need some things on offense, but it's mostly just upgrades on defense here. So we'll see if these guys sign. I don't think we'll get all of them, but maybe some of them, a few of them. All of them do sign. Okay, we get DeJean, Mitchell, Colson, and Burks. That's fine. I didn't expect Terrion Arnold to sign. He goes to the Broncos. That's interesting. Ooh, somehow Overstreet didn't get X Factor. I mean, I don't think he was good enough to get X Factor, but he won Offensive Rookie of the Year. He got some XP, but no X Factor. That's tough. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but still would have looked nice, I guess. Haynes did get X Factor, though. Both Langford and Brothers went up to Superstar. That's cool. Oh, yeah, and I think I'm gonna move DeJean to safety. I mean, he has safety experience. I feel like I end up moving him to safety a lot in Madden, but we have a lot of corners and we kind of need safety, so it makes sense to me. We could sign another D lineman. We kind of need a third guy. Mike Hall, I mean, not a great person, but could be a good player. We'll see if he signs. He doesn't. All right, cool. My fault for trying, I guess. Death, taxes, and Moro Jamo in this rebuild for some reason. All right, let's get to the draft. I think we're gonna trade for somebody, though. We'll see. But okay, in the draft, we pick at number 2. So the Patriots must have been pretty bad this year. We don't really need the number 2 pick. Like, what are we gonna do with this? I didn't even scout any of the early players. I just assumed we wouldn't have that good of a pick. But I mean, we might trade this away for a pretty good player. I got some ideas. You know what? I'm curious. What if we put this just like up for trade? Terrion Arnold. Definitely some pretty good trades. Nobody at the position I'm looking for, though. Ooh. Okay, there are a couple. Puka Nacua. I don't know. Justin Jefferson. I don't know how realistic these trades are, but I mean, to be fair, this is the number 2 overall pick. I feel like you would have to give up something like this for number 2. This isn't, I don't know what a realistic trade would be like for this scenario, but I don't feel like, Okay, we are gonna trade the number 2 overall pick for Puka Nacua in a second. I mean, there's a debate to be made that this is, I feel like a lot of people still overestimate trade value. Like, I make trades in these rebuilds and people are like, oh, no way that would happen in real life. And then good players in real life go for like 4th round picks. I mean, it's rare that players this good get traded, to be fair, but like, I don't think there are many players anymore other than QBs or like top level players that would go for multiple firsts. So I could see people saying that that wasn't fair value for Puka Nacua, but like, he's also 28 at this point, like, or he's 27. He's not that old, but I feel like that's a fair trade because it's the number number 2 overall pick, but I don't know. Ooh, whoa. Okay, I thought these guys looked good. We don't need defensive tackles, but I focus scouted both Zach Casey and Matt Hayward because they had a lot of A ratings and they are both top 5 talents. I think Casey looks a little better. I mean, it depends on the combine, but he has elite speed, agility, and acceleration. He ran a 4.80, and he was only the 4th fastest defensive tackle because that's realistic. That's normal. Matt Hayward ran a 4.74 at 295 pounds because that's realistic. That's normal, and that was only 2nd. I think we'll go with Casey, though. I mean, it's hard to go wrong either way. They're both top 5 talents. Sure. Ranked number 5, picked at 5. Okay, that's good. He was the worst out of the 2, apparently, but we'll take it. Now I think we have 2 Caseys on the defensive line. And let's see, what do we want to do here? Round 2. There are still first-round talents. I set safety as our focus position. Let's see. I guess we'll just go with Trey Allen because he's the youngest out of the group. Doesn't look that great, though. I feel like Clyde Smith looks maybe better. He's also not very fast, but yeah, we'll take him. Ranked 7, picked at 37. I need to get used to like having, worse draft classes than I usually do, because this would not be the number 7 player in the old classes that I used to use with a D-man and C player ec, but he's pretty good here. I don't know if he's even going to see the field, but maybe. And then last pick, maybe of the whole rebuild. Is there anything else we need that I'm kind of overlooking? I mean, I was looking at receivers before we traded for Puka Nacua. I guess maybe another lineman, but like we have enough. I mean, we're looking pretty good. Maybe a good 4th receiver, if there is one. Nolan Bradley might be decent. What was his combine? Nah, he doesn't look that great. I might just simulate the rest of this out just because I don't know what to do. All right, let's see how we did. But all right, we had a pretty decent draft. I mean, especially if you include Puka Nacua at the top of this, but Zach Casey, 77, Clyde Smith, 76. I've been hearing loud-ass cars all day. I hope that doesn't pick up in the mic. It might. But the CPU actually picked, one of the players I kind of wanted, Trey Allen. I wasn't going to take him because we'd already picked a safety. Doesn't have a dev trait, but he's good. He was probably a mid-first round talent because Clyde Smith he was ranked 7, so yeah. But the CPU decided, let's pick another safety, and then another defensive end, and then another safety. I hate the CPU logic in this game. It's so bad. Like, I get taken 1 after we already picked one, that's fine, but 2 more safeties? We didn't even really need safety to begin with. We don't need a lot, but there were positions where we kind of needed depth. This is such an interesting, what do you program to make the CPU do this? What's the logic? I don't know, whatever. But okay, now heading into what is, again, hopefully the final year. We deserve to do well this year. We now have a 91 overall offense, an 87 overall defense, which isn't great, but just hopefully it plays better. That's all we can really do at this point, is hope. And an 87 is still pretty good. It should be a good defense. We had to make some maybe unrealistic moves, but honestly, not really that unrealistic. But we had to do some things to make this team good, and it's good now. But y'all know the team by this point. It's really good on paper. I do want to check, though, where do we rank for overall? We might just make this the final year regardless, because, we're about to start getting to the point where this team is going to fall apart, because it's going to be expensive. But we do have, I guess, tied for the highest overall team in the league with the Chiefs at an 89. There was an 88. It's the Cowboys, of course, and the Falcons. Interesting. I guess they have now MVP Michael Penix. I don't remember if he's won one, but he was close. But either way, feeling good about the team. So let's just get straight to the end of year number 5. Again, we're going to make it the final year, and we will see how this team does. I don't know if we're going to be good, but we deserve to be really good. And regardless, I've done my job of making this a good team on paper, so if we're bad, that's not really my fault. I don't know. But okay, we finish the year 11-6. We don't have to worry about not making the playoffs once in this rebuild. Now, I guess it started to get scary at the end of the year. We lost to the Chargers and Patriots to close out the season, but at least we made it. For some reason, Shedeur Sanders was just horrible this year. Oh, I think I see the reason. There are some seasons in Madden where it just feels scripted that you're gonna get sacked about 1 billion times, and this was one of those. Fun. Ralph Overstreet was good. 20 21 rushing touchdowns, pretty good amount of yards, decent yards per carry, the best we've had so far, but a crazy amount of touchdowns. But Puka Nacua, 1,100 yards, 9 touchdowns, 1,000 yards for Haynes. It's always fun to like develop players that don't start out that crazy good, and Haynes was definitely one of those. I mean, just 2 years ago, he was a 75 overall normal dev, up to an 89 X factor. That's cool. But all right, here's the issue. Ooh, it looks like we were underperforming at the midseason in terms of blocking, so I benched some players naturally. I benched Latham and Lang, and that didn't work out. Spencer Brown, our backup right tackle, allowed 10 sacks, and Davion Duckworth allowed 9. All right, I think we're gonna put the other guys back in. That's tough. Not that they were doing well either, but what I did definitely didn't help. But Junior Colson, 102 tackles. TFLs, we had a lot. 13 for Sweat, led the team, and sacks, 13 for Simmons, 12.5 for Langford. He's become really good. It looks like the Steelers defense really has helped our pass rush, obviously, but overall the defense is still just kind of whatever, I think. But 8.5 sacks for Brothers, even 5 for Casey as a rookie. And then interceptions, a lot more this year. 4 for Snead, 3 for Mitchell, 2 for McCreary, Gibbons, and Whitaker, and then 1 for Colson. But MVP goes to Mahomes. Big surprise there. Has he won like 3 out of 5 or something? I don't know. Feels like it. But Overstreet at 7 for offensive player. Oh yeah, I guess he had a ton of touchdowns. And then Langford at 9 for defensive player of the year. Simmons at 10. And then Casey at 3 for defensive rookie of the year. So we were good, but honestly, stats-wise, like we didn't allow many points on defense, but we did allow an okay amount of yards, and just overall on defense, or on offense, we just weren't that good. 12th for points per game, which is okay, but I think it said we were 21st for yards. I am gonna re-bench the tackles, I guess. I mean, left tackle was about the same either way. Duckworth allowed 2 more sacks in like 200 more snaps, so I don't know, but Lang was definitely better than Spencer Brown. Ooh, and Casey has superstar dev. That's cool. I mean, it doesn't really matter because this is the final year, but for our first and possibly last playoff game of this rebuild, we are going to be taking on the Baltimore Ravens. I guess these two teams have a kind of a rivalry, right? I don't really know why, but I think they do or did. But we should win this game. We're a 90 overall. We're the home team, it looks like. So let's see, can we win our first and maybe only playoff game of this rebuild? Again, we deserve it, but of course we lose. I love this game.